to my channel where we're about that breaking cycles life. Guys, it's another Sunday, a beautiful Sunday morning actually, and it's cold, so you know, winter wear. Yeah, yeah, I'm bearing the cold for you guys. We thank God for another week, and we thank Him that we're able to start another week, and we hope, and I pray and hope for you that this week will be a fulfilling week, and even in the trials you can have fulfillment. Yes, we'll learn a lesson that will improve our character. Everything that God allows us to face will definitely shape us into who He wants us to be. Okay guys, so you know that today is Sunday, so it's Sunday Song Spotlight, and I have a nice song for you, and it was actually, I chose this song based on something I read yesterday during Sabbath hours. It's a book given by my friend, and but before we get into that, I will announce our winner for this week's Thursday trivia, and she is Bernadette Bangul. Congratulations, Bernadette. Okay guys, now let's get into our song for this week. Our song for this week is Cycles by Jonathan McReynolds. And this song is kind of an oldie. It's not that old, right? But 2-3 years ago, right? 2-3-4 years ago, I'm not sure. But this song was actually, when it just came out, it really touched a lot of people because you could relate to it so much. So let's get into the lyrics, and then at some point I'll tell you why I chose this song. Okay guys, now Cycles by Jonathan McReynolds. It says, "Didn't I conquer this last year? Tell me what I missed, 'cause I fear that it's coming back up again. Must be something I ate, some song, some show, some hate." Okay, so just from the first verse, just from the first part of the verse, you can tell that he's talking about, those things that seem to like they never end, we never get the victory over them, right? And then I chose it because I was reading this book, Winning the War in Your Mind, right? By Craig Groeschel, right? And I'll just read a part of it for you, and it says, these ruts, it's talking about ruts. So first of all, I can't read the entire chapter. First of all, he used the allegory of his dog. He said he had a dog, Bandit, that every single day the dog would run in circles on his lawn and create a circle, because when you trample upon grass for an extended period of time, the grass will die, and then it creates a pathway, right? Yeah. But in this case, instead of making a pathway, it created a circle, which created a rut. And then he used this allegory to talk about how we oftentimes create the same rut because we go in circles every day doing the same habits. Creating habits is that we do the same thing by creating habits, like do the very same thing, and we create ruts in our life, right? And then he went on to say, in this particular paragraph, it said, in a similar way, repeated thoughts create paths in our brains. Again, neural pathways are brain ruts. These ruts are often carved deeper by the bundle of nerves at the base of our stem, known as the reticular activating system. The RAS sifts through millions of pieces of sensory data being sent to our brains and groups them according to relevance and similarity. If the information will keep us alive, prevent problems, avert danger, or bring pleasure, the RAS is activated. It's your brain's system for filtering through all the data in your life and allowing you to focus on what's pertinent and ignore the rest. Our RAS also utilize our established beliefs to screen incoming information. This is part of the reason we so often get what we expect. If you keep thinking you're a victim who never has a steady job or long-lasting relationships, you are training your brain to look for evidence which supports that belief and to filter out evidence which doesn't. You condition your brain to reinforce what you already believe. You create a victim rut. The tires drop in, you let go of the steering wheel, and you travel down the victim road. Okay? And it goes on, I read this other part. It says, your brain is designed to look for patterns and create neurological pathways to help you keep thinking the things you keep thinking and doing the things you keep doing. Right? And when I read that section of this paragraph, of this chapter, I was like, wow, that is so true. And this song came to me, Cycles. Like, how often do we, when we are in sin, we think that, okay, in this sin is inevitable for us to do as human beings because we're sinners, right? There's absolutely no way for us to get out of this. And yes, Christians do think like this, because I believe that some of a reason why we think like this is because we think that it should happen overnight, when the journey with Christ is a daily sacrifice, right? And we cannot expect an immediate change like that. Change comes with control, self-control, and discipline, and over time we will see the effects of it, right? Just as over time you saw the effects of the dead grass with his dog, right? It's the same that we should expect change, or expect habits to change by creating good habits, because that's what you were saying. If the RAS, the reticular activating system, creates these patterns or uses these patterns to keep us in a routine. Yes, our brain likes routine, right? Um, if our RAS uses these uses these patterns, these habits, it is our decision, to break the cycle, right? Break the cycle and create habits that will form and create good habits, right? Because he also, I'm just giving the analogy here, and then I'll get back to the song. And then he went on to say another one, like he was taught by his grandma to always be concerned about money, because she spoke to him about the Great Depression and how people died and everything. People died, and it was just a horrible time because the lack of money, and you should always be prepared for a lack of money. While that was true, he got into the mindset that he was always checking the money, always he was always frugal in regards to whatever he did, and he never lived his life because he was debt free. He was able to live a financially free life, but because of this mindset that he had, he realized he passed it on to his children, and his child at one point asked said the very same thing to him when he told her, honey, he brought her out for her birthday and told her, you can order anything you want. And she was like, Daddy, I'm afraid because I don't know if it's going to be too expensive. And at that point, it really shook him, and God got his attention with how he's passing on these habits, these traits, this thinking to his children, right? Now, let's get back to the song. So it goes on to say, the devil wants to extend the game, free throws, and when it ends, he wants to make the sequel. Because if he has another chance, he feels like he can take my joy, my peace, my faith. And that is the truth. That is the truth. The devil wants us to believe that when we make a sin, when we go out there and yield to a temptation, we just need to continue in it because it makes no sense. There's no redemption. When God came, God sent his son and redeemed us from that thinking. And if we would but only believe, if we would but only discipline ourselves to stop listening. It's a discipline to stop. It's a choice, to stop listening to the devil and break out of that cycle of listening to his lies, his deceit. And we start feeding our minds with the promises of God and the joy, the peace that he gives. it's in those moments that we'll realize that we don't need to end up in cycles. We can make mistakes, but you don't need to go in a rut. You don't need to start making a rut, right? You don't need to start creating a rut. You just need to give it to God and start again, right? Because the moment you start believing the lies and you start doing the sin over and over again, you're creating a habit. And we ought to, as Christians, give it to God so that we can form good habits in our lives, so that we can pass this on to our future generations, right, guys? Then it says, this is the bridge that gives, this is the chorus. It says, see the devil, he learns from your mistakes. So he knows that when he tempts you, you will feel this way, and then you go and do a certain thing that's going to intensify the sin that you've already committed. He learns, right? And that is why I'm so big on introspection. Guys, we ought to look within ourselves and make decisions to stand against making bad choices. You have all power. God has given you all power to not make those choices. It's hard, but it's not impossible, right? He never said that these things were impossible to do, right? They are hard. He understands that it's hard to make these decisions to live for him. But he said he is there to help you because it's not impossible, right, guys? And he says, even if you don't. So, like, see the devil, he learns from your mistakes, even if you don't. That's how he keeps you in cycles, 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 cycles. But I'm not going in cycles. It's a decision. I'm not going in cycles, right? I have broken many cycles in my life. And that is, you see, that is my motto for this channel, right? Breaking Cycles Life. Because I see things that are generation. I'm like, I'm not joining that, right? And I'm like, okay, let's break this. But trust me, the time you decide to break these cycles is the time the devil will fight you the most. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, this is a real fight. But, regardless, I have God on my side, so I'm fine. It says, this will end like I want it to. I win. The enemy will have to lose again. See, I'm a different fighter now, and I have God to thank because his joy is my strength. That's the line. Kind of reminds you of home, right? And then it goes on to another chorus. It says, see, the devil will learn it's a mistake when I am sure, you see, that I'm not going in cycles. So he will now become afraid when you decide that you're not going in cycles. The devil is scared of those who manifest the power of God. I know you've heard this many times, and it's the truth. And if we but only believe, we would see that he has no authority over you, and you have authority over him, okay? Because you are God's child. And it goes on to say, oh Lord, oh so Lord, help me be free from my past sins. See, your love is enough to make me new, and help me in these cycles. Help me in these cycles, oh Lord, cycles. People are looking at me. And he says, I need you to help me in these cycles. I rebuke him in the name of Jesus. Oh, cycles. And then he goes on to the bridge. He says, see, there is power in the name of Jesus. There is power in the name of Jesus. See, there is power in the name of Jesus to break every cycle. And then it goes on. It ends like that, where it says, generational cycles, financial cycles, painful cycles. Any type of cycle that you're going in, God has given you power to break it. If you see something in your family that is something that you're like, I'm not going to continue, trust me, you're going to be fought, right? The devil will probably use them to fight against you. Like, you don't even understand the level of fight you will get when you decide to break cycles. But it's worth it, because God is by your side. and He knows that He wants to bless you in a marvelous way. And once you make that decision and you stop going in ruts and you start training your mind, your RAS system to form good habits, then you will see how much of a fulfilling, free life you will live. And you'll thank God for it. Honestly, guys. Like when I read this chapter yesterday, I was like, wow. And this song came to mind, so I chose it. So yeah, that is our song for this week. I hope you guys have a great week. Please listen to this song, Cycles by Jonathan McReynolds. If you already know it, go and listen to it again, because it's an oldie but newie, yeah. And do introspection, guys, and start breaking cycles, yeah, in your devotions, breaking cycles in your Bible study, breaking cycles in your financial choices, breaking cycles in sexual choices, break cycles in every single aspect of your life, your education, your studies, guys, the work you do, the way you spend your leisure time. Break cycles, because you can be free in Christ. Okay, guys? So, yeah, have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's encouragement, and I hope you guys are ready for the day ahead. Now, do me a favor and press that like button and subscribe button if you are new, so that we can get more of this positive Christian content out into the world, okay? And I'll link my daily devotional playlist right here and my Let's Talk playlist if you want to tackle some social issues, okay? So, have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.